and I'm talking with my mic muted. Again, thank you for joining us. Hello and welcome. I can't believe this. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. You'd expect it. Is it Friday the 13th? No, it's the 16th, isn't it? God, I'm losing it. Maybe I've got half a brain cell left. It's this, but it's my first one, so I can't even complain. Don't know what's going on today. Anyway, if you are tuned in, thank you for joining us. Obviously, we are Turf Moor House. We are doing an end of season review a little bit later than usual, and I understand that. A lot of people got them out of the way after the last game, but we're going to touch on the last season. We're going to touch on the season to come, and we've got an Everton fan, we've got a Liverpool fan, we've got a City fan, so we've basically got a blue chair in the house, and we've sorry, Ray, and Connor who's going to be representing Man United will be joining us later. So first of all, we will get our guests in. First up, we'll have the league leaders. We'll have Ray. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, mate. Still champions.
You're still champion and you're feeling champion by the looks of things.
Absolutely, man. Where's Connor? Is Connor coming up from London?
No, probably. He's probably just left turf or something. He's become a bit of a...
Connor, a Man United fan. They all live in London, don't they?
Yeah, well, he's one of them American ones, isn't he? So he's definitely not been to Old Trafford.
Yeah, he loves Glazers, hates United. Is that the one?
More than likely. Oh, but
so one of us is frozen.
Yeah, probably. Thanks for coming on, mate. Honestly, give a plug to your channel.
City Fan TV, cover City. I'm having a bit of a break at the moment. I'm only doing a few streams a week. We'll pick it up because we're not far away from the new season. Starts for us on the 7th of August. So hopefully, I've got a trip to France and hopefully there'll be no shenanigans with this blooming coming back and making it a red country or something crazy, and then I'll have to self-isolate or quarantine. That'd kill me. So hopefully I'll be back for the Community Shield final against Leicester City, and we'll start my channel back up in earnest at the end of the month.
Happy day. So yeah, everybody in the chat, please do head over to Ray's channel, show it some love, like and subscribe. I'm sure it would mean a lot. And obviously, if you're a Man City fan, it means even more, doesn't it? Because you're getting a nice, good old City bit of content.
Absolutely.
So, moving on, obviously, we would have called in Connor next. We're being second in league. I don't know how they managed to scab that. But then somebody even scabbier will go to the Liverpool fan. Doug, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Dan. Thank you very, very much for having me. A pleasure to meet Ray as well. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Looking forward to this.
No problem. It should be a good one. So obviously we'll touch on Liverpool later. But as being our Liverpool fan, obviously you had a decent season last season, a late March, shall we say? And you can laugh at me later on. I will say you can laugh at me later on. There is a little video I've got and put together. You can laugh at my predictions that were incorrect. So it should be one that you'll watch with your eyes open and think, what a tit. So it's not too bad. But yeah, please do give a plug to your channel and everything.
Yeah, it's the Dugout Football channel. I do Premier League content. I'm doing Bundesliga content, SPFL content. I'm doing a wee mini-series with a chat with Daniel was on my channel a couple of days ago. So obviously go and follow that as well.
Happy days. So thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for coming along. It means a lot. And Ben, how are you, mate?
Hey, how's it going? Not too bad, thanks.
Good stuff. Obviously, there's a lot happening at Everton, isn't there? Obviously, Carlo Ancelotti's gone. There's the move to Bramley Moor Docks. There's sort of massive changes happening.
Yeah, it's really exciting behind the scenes, but on the pitch, it's always the same. You start with full of optimism, and then it's just like at the end of the season, full of disappointment. It's been the same for the past 3 or 4 years now. So hopefully with Rafa that will change, but we'll see.
Yeah, obviously we'll touch on that with you as well, Doug, as well, with the whole Rafa thing, because that'll be interesting, having 2 inputs on that.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Ben, do give us a plug for your channels and for what you do for Everton.
Yep. So my channel's Blue Nose Banksy. The channel's a bit misleading because I don't just do Everton. I do lots of stuff. So the biggest football stories of the week, what's been going on, like the breaking news. I like to talk about Everton quite a lot on the channel, try not and be biased. I also got a mini series coming up where I'm going to be travelling around all the Football League grounds in the UK over the next season. Now that we're allowed to go to football matches. So I want to try and get the atmosphere back. So yeah, check that out. That'll be coming out starting in August when the season kicks off.
Happy days. So obviously, thank you all for tuning in. We are expecting Connor. Obviously, I would tell him to plug his channel, but he's not here. But when he does come, it is at Yank Talking Smack on YouTube and on Twitter. So do go follow him. Everybody's link is in the description. So go show him some love, and it'll be great. So we'll start off. We'll take some comments that have come in. As per usual, the missus puts a comment in before we've even gone live. So remember to subscribe, turn on your notifications, all that jazz, which is brilliant. So thank you very much. She's my biggest fan. I have to say that because she sat literally opposite the camera. So it's either that or I'm not sleeping in the same bed tonight. This sofa behind me is my new bed. But Mark, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're well. As I say, as I discussed earlier, stay strong. You've got everything. But thanks a lot for tuning in. Means a lot. Nippon, hi to us all. Obviously, we don't know where Nippon is. He's literally like the Where's Wally of YouTube. He's either somewhere on the tube or he's in some sort of restaurant. Honestly, he's like the world's shittest Gordon Ramsay is all I'm going to say. And he can barter me back. I'll let him. We've got Lewis in. So thanks, Lewis. Thanks for tuning in. Lewis obviously is repping Ben as well. So Mark says that he can get your tickets, Ben, for Newport.
Ah, nice one. Message me after. Interested.
So happy days. That's a start, innit? You got free tickets before we even started speaking. Bloody hell.
I was trying to pick my first ground to go to, so that was an easy choice.
Happy days.
Nice
and Nippon says he's better than Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, I mean, when Gordon Ramsay's asleep, that's probably about it. but obviously, we'll come to you first, Ray. So Manchester City had a phenomenal run, over 20 plus games unbeaten. Tell us how your season went.
I mean, there'll be some people who say it was a disappointing season because we didn't win the Champions League. I think not winning the Champions League itself was disappointing, but you got to say the season overall. We played as many games as we could play almost, and we lost two main ones. That FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea and that Champions League final against Chelsea. So you got to say it's a successful season. You win the league, it's not going to be unsuccessful. So especially the way we started off, it looked a bit dodgy. Pep hadn't signed his new contract. Fans were not happy, Many things were going on. We hadn't got the replacement for Company. We had, there was talk about a new defender at the start of the season. We hadn't got that centre back, and talk of Koulibaly, Koundé. There's a guy over at Atletico, and nothing had come of it. So fans were a little bit concerned at the start of the season. We started shockingly, really, for City. Really struggled, but I think that was down to the fact that we'd finished the Champions League so late. We had about 5 weeks from the end of the season to have a break, have a pre-season, and get cracking. It weren't enough, and everybody struggled. But I think we had just that. We could have done with a couple more weeks. I think we'd have started better. But from where we were to win it, and then like you said, was it 21, 22 game winning run? It was bonkers. And then suddenly, our defence was looking really good. In the end, we won it at a canter, and we actually lost a few games at the end in the league, which was disappointing. We could have won that by 20 points, which sounds daft. Yeah, I think it was United 12 points behind. We lost at home off the top of my head, we lost at home to Leeds, we lost to Brighton, we lost to Chelsea. We could have won that league by miles. But you can't forget that Champions League final. The disappointment that Pep. We ended up losing to Chelsea 3 times in not many weeks, and losing that final without really putting on display was really disappointing. And it's not I'm concerned a bit that at the end of last season, I think we lost 4 4 out of the last 6 games or something. You know, losing games at home and losing that final. I don't want that to carry on into next season. It can happen, that a little bit of a hangover. And I'm already looking forward to next season because we haven't got anybody yet. We need some players. We need a striker. We need a better left back than Zinchenko. And the longer we don't get anybody, the more we start to worry, because you know everybody else is going to strengthen. You feel that Liverpool, United are doing it. United spending a lot of money. Chelsea will spend money, and everybody else is strengthening, and they will get closer. They will get closer to us, and we just got to keep. I know people don't like it. We've got to keep spending. You got to spend a bit of money. You know, we'll have some kids coming through as well. I think next season we'll have a couple of kids. We'll spend the season training with the first team for the full season. That's Cole Palmer and Liam Delap, and hopefully they'll get their chances. But I think we do need a couple of players.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got that spending power. I look at the games that you lost, as you said. You know, Leeds, Brighton, Chelsea. I mean, was it Leeds and Brighton that beat you both with 10 men as well?
I think we had 10 men against Brighton. I think we were up 2-0. And they come back and beat us 3-2, if I'm right. Leeds beat us with 10 men. And Chelsea.
9 minutes that, weren't it?
But the thing is, I mean, at the time, we'd won the league. So Pep was messing about. And it was really frustrating because, you know, I know you want to rest players and this and that, but he was picking, you know, when there was one game, he made 8 changes. Another game, he made 9 changes. And he was picking players who either were out of form or didn't have much game time at City. And I described a lot of them as the decent players when they're surrounded by top quality. Okay? But when you've got several decent players, they don't make that the same sort of team. And if you chuck someone like Zinchenko in with our first team, he looks all right. If you chuck a couple of other players in, Jesus, he's all right, you know, and one or two others. But if you put those I call them second stringers, if you put them in there together, they don't gel and they can't feed off each other. So the quality is massively down. And, you know, in those big games, I was disappointed. Pep changed so many players, and we end up losing. And that's kind of, it's momentum as well. It's that momentum that took us to the final in the Champions League against Chelsea, a momentum of losing games. And I said, I don't care that we've won the league. You don't want to lose games because winning's a habit. And, you know, then Pep did a Pep thing and didn't pick. I still don't agree with his decision for the starting 11. You know, even though people say Sterling had a great Euros, he should have started that final. He weren't good enough. He was so inconsistent. He hadn't done enough to deserve to start that final. So, you know, I think that's the only thing that can hurt us is sometimes is Pep going a little bit too far with his thinking.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll touch on the Champions League final. I mean, it's something that obviously Man City have been aching to win now for numerous seasons. You've got as close as possible. It's there in your grasp. It's almost very similar to this, you know, how we've done in the Euros. England get to a final, then the heartbreak, but you feel it more at club level. And personally, I think you feel it more at club level because you see it over a long period of, you know, how it goes from the start of the season to the end of the season, what you've achieved. Where with England, it's just that one-off tournament. You know, it's sort of like an FA Cup, isn't it? But without any league games throughout. So yeah, obviously you've had 2 heartbreaks this year. So, you know, obviously England aside, that final. I mean, how was it for you?
It weren't good, mate. It weren't good.
No.
I mean, I called it after about 15 minutes. I said, I just didn't put a tweet out after 15, 20 minutes. I said, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I can see this going wrong because it's just we were not playing the way we should be playing. And that's partly because Pep had put Sterling in. He'd messed around. You know, he didn't have the DM. He'd do effectiveness there. You know, he messed around and people were playing out of position. Foden, who should have been on the left, he wasn't. So he'd messed around a little bit too much and wasn't playing people in their best places to squeeze Sterling in, and Sterling didn't do the business. He had that chance early on, and he has to do better than let Reece James get back to him and tackle him or block him. And that was our best, one of our best chances, and we didn't create that much. Chelsea had numerous chances. Pep didn't change anything. He's really stubborn. That first half, Chelsea were having a few chances, and it's like, Pep, do something. It's not working, this. And he didn't do anything. And then Chelsea get the goal, and we didn't really hit back. And I think that's disappointing. That I think we could and should have done a little bit better than what we did in that final, and really give it something. You always feel disappointed when you lose a game or go out of a tournament when you really didn't go for it. I'd rather we went for it and played the way we were playing for the most of the season, because at times in the season we've been awesome, and I thought in that FA Cup semi-final at the time I felt if we put a better team out, 2 or 3 more top players, I think we could have got a win there, because we were still in good form. But Pep gave that up for the I think that was a few days before the Champions League game against Borussia Dortmund, and we beat them in the first game, I think 2-1. So he rested a lot of players. It's one of those, if we beat them, say 3-0, I think we'd have had a first team out against Chelsea, and I think we'd have beat them, and that would have helped us in that Champions League final. But look, it is what it is now. The heartbreak. I'm still one of those older City fans that I still prefer to win the league. If you offer me now again, if you offer me the league or the Champions League, I'll still take the league first. I'd like to win the Champions League, but I'd still take the league first.
No, that's sound enough. That's decent enough. I mean, obviously, we'll touch on one last thing, really. Aguero. If any man is to replace Aguero, who would it be? Who would fit the caliber?
I think there's a few players, because Aguero didn't play last season, basically, and when he did play, he didn't contribute that much. We changed our style. He was complaining he wasn't getting passes. He was in the wrong place for the passes. We played a lot of the season with a false 9. Even Gabriel Jesus playing as a number 9, he's like a false 9 because he isn't good enough to be a number 9, in my opinion. So who can replace? I mean, a lot of City fans do want Haaland. Who doesn't? I mean, everybody wants Haaland if they can get him. Not sure it's going to happen. This talk of Chelsea bidding 175 million euros. City, I can't see City doing that. Then there's Harry Kane, but obviously the problems of Daniel Levy, asking probably for too much money. Unless Kane throws a hissy fit, I can't see him leaving. You don't make a gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy. No, because he's not a gentleman. So what's the point?
Definitely not.
It's like making a gentleman's agreement with the snake. So that was a bit silly from Harry Kane. It's like Messi thinking he can make a deal with Barcelona to leave. They ain't gonna let it happen easily because they want the money. So in this talk today, I think the new manager said he's expecting Kane to stay. So we'll have to wait and see. So then you just look around, and Lukaku's not going anywhere. So who's left? Patson Daka. I would have been happy to take Patson Daka. So cheap. But now you hear Pep saying we might not get anybody. I really don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear we're not going to get anybody. I'll take Danny Ings. People are looking down on Danny Ings and say he's not good enough. But Danny Ings and he's injured. But last 2 seasons he's done all right. He scored. I think last season he only scored about 12 in 27.
Yeah,
29 last season. Season before he scored 22 in 38. So he played the full season and he scored 22 goals. You'd take that all day long.
Yeah.
Aguero usually gets in the mid-20s, 22, 22, 24. Dan Ings will do that. And if he stays fit, I think he'll score the goals. People are doing him a disservice. He's playing in the Southampton side at the end of the season. They were not very good. They're not creating a lot. He's having to do a lot of work. At City, he'll work hard. And I think that's what you need. That's what Aguero really wasn't willing to do. You could see at the end of the season, we weren't pressing the way we were doing back in February, March. So I think Ings will. He's a little Aguero, so he'll get a few more headed goals. But if I was taking my first choice, I'd probably go for Harry Kane. And I hope we can at least try and get him. But if we don't, Danny Ings or somebody. We can't go into the season with Gabriel Jesus and Liam Delap. It's asking
Jesus
for.
is not a number one, is he?
If we have a bad season, he's going to get it in the neck for doing that.
Yeah, massively. I mean, obviously, Doug, coming on to yourselves, obviously, before we talk about Liverpool, as you said there, Danny Ings, was he a player that you thought would have done something a lot better than he did at Liverpool if he wasn't to have his injury problems?
Yeah, it's such a shame what will actually happen with Danny Ings at Liverpool. Unfortunately, just injuries cost him really. It started really well as well. I think he got a goal in like one of his first 2 matches in the Premier League as well. So
yeah, I think it was against Everton, weren't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
It was a game that Rodgers got sacked.
Sorry, Ben, I forgot you were here then.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was a game that Rodgers was sacked, and then obviously we got Klopp, and as I say, the rest is history, as they say. But what I will say, I think Danny Ings would be a very good sign for Manchester City. I think if you're getting on the crosses of De Bruyne, Bernardo, Sterling, I think you're going to score goals. So I think Danny Ings would be a very good signing for anybody. I mean, I read somewhere that apparently Danny Ings might be going to Tottenham to appease Harry Kane. Well, that's not going to keep Harry Kane at the club.
He's not going to play number 2 either, is he, Danny?
No, he's
not. He's not going to play there. So very, very, very strange. But yeah, I was gutted when Danny Ings left. Top professional, just unfortunately injuries got the better of him.
Yeah, likewise when he left Burnley, I was obviously gutted. But but yeah, no, he's one of those players. Going back to what you said, Ray, and he would probably fit Man City's sort of mentality. I didn't think Riyad Mahrez would have slotted in at Man City, to be fair, when he went from Leicester. And I say that now, but every time he comes up against Burnley, he gets an hat-trick. So, Christ's sake, honestly, it never ends. Obviously, Liverpool season, you was going into the season defending the title. And, well, it was like getting in the bath, having a house full of kids and leaving the bathroom door unlocked, weren't it?
It was like being on a roller coaster. Up, down, twists, turns. I mean, if there's any season that I like to see the back of, it was that season. I can tell you that for a fact. 22 centre-back partnerships. That's more than the Premier League have got
Wow.
teams.
What? I didn't realise there's that many.
Absolutely ridiculous. The amount of partnerships we had at the back. I mean, we had Van Dijk and Gomez. We had Van Dijk and Matip. We had the Gomez and Matip and Henderson and Fabinho. Like, it's just constant. And this is what I say. I think that affected Robertson's game, and I think it affected Trent's game. The fact that they didn't have a settled partnership at the back, especially with Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip getting injured in the space of like 3-4 weeks after that. I'm not going to mention the Everton game because it's I'm not as salty as other.
That's the only highlight of our season.
I'm not as salty as any other Liverpool fans, but as far as I'm concerned, our season fell apart in December. The fact that you're top of the league going into that West Brom game on Boxing Day. We drew 1-1. We should have won easily, but we didn't. Then it's 0-0 against Newcastle. And, it just completely goes pear-shaped. And then obviously Kabak comes in January for the Leicester game, lose 3-1. It's just. I want to say
you went and bought centre backs galore, didn't you? In January, I think you signed Ben Davies from Preston,
who's nowhere to be seen.
He's like Casper the Ghost. Yeah, exactly. He's like Casper the friendly ghost. Never seen. Ben Davies come back. It's just like the one thing I will say though, like I don't think I've ever had a season where we've had to play Fabinho and Henderson centre back, because having those two as centre back, you've not got the stability in midfield. And we've obviously seen from, the start of January 2021 and onwards, we only lost one game. And I think that was the Real Madrid game. with Fabinho and DM. So it just shows how pivotal Fabinho has been to our upturn in form. The 6 home defeats in a row, I've never ever envisaged that. One was to Manchester City, and fair play to them. They were absolutely magnificent on that day. Like 4-1, it could have been easily 5, could have been 6. Everton came to Anfield, bossed us off the park.
Who started that route, Doug? Who started that route at Anfield?
I was just coming to you, Dan. I was just coming to you, Dan. But that game would have turned completely if Divock Origi had decided to basically place that under Nick Pope rather than go for power and hit the bloody crossbar. One thing I will never forgive him for. And then obviously Brighton, and then Everton. Manchester United could have been the start of that start as well, because they drew 0-0. They should have won that game. They should have won that game at Anfield. And then, as you say, the 6 home defeats in a row, I think it was Burnley, Brighton. I can't remember the exact order, but it came like Fulham and then Everton. Their first.
I'll tell you what it was, mate. It was Burnley, Brighton, City, Everton. Let me just think. You lost to Chelsea and you lost to Fulham. Yeah.
That's it. I knew that Chelsea and Everton were in there. I couldn't remember what exact order. So thank you for that. So yeah, 6 home defeats in a row was just incredibly bad. But then obviously, the Super League stuff happens, and the Liverpool Leeds game. We all thought that was just a friendly. We did not know what was happening at that time. And then that's a 1-1 draw, and that's damaging enough. And then Newcastle at home, 1-1, not good. And then we just hit a button somewhere and just go on an 8-match winning run, 8 wins out of 10 games to get top 4, to get 3rd place. If you'd asked me if I would take 3rd place with 22 centre-back partnerships in the Premier League, I would have bloody taken it.
Oh, I bet.
Absolutely.
I bet.
Can I ask a question? You all Liverpool fans blame the injuries. They, like you've done, they point out the centre back pairings and everything else, but you weren't scoring goals. That run where you lost 6 games at home, and if you include the Man United one before that, you scored a goal against City, and that's it. If I'm right, you didn't score. So in 7 games you scored, was it 1? Goal at home in the league, and it's easy to say all these changes and everything else, and that's hers. Most of those games you lost 1-0. So Chelsea lost 1-0, Fulham was 1-0, Brighton was 1-0, and Burnley was 1-0. So you lost 4 of them 1-0. You weren't scoring goals, so nobody wants to actually say the attackers weren't doing anything. They weren't scoring goals. So in 5 out of 7 games. Sorry, 6 out of 7, you didn't score a goal. So,
I totally agree with you. And I think you look at the goals dried up, especially like forward line. Absolutely, Salah bailed out Mane and Firmino. As simple as that. Jota came in, got injured, but got on a bit of a goal scoring run after that. But yeah, I think it's a collective of problems. We should never have gone those, as we say, those 6 home games and score 1 goal. But the goals definitely dried up last season. Salah, I think, got 27. I think 27 in all comps. So, and I think Mane and Firmino, I think, got either, I think it was 11 or 12 in all comps. So, you can see where the problems lie. If Salah isn't firing, we're not going to win games, unfortunately. And the lack of goals from midfield is a big, big worry as well.
No, it is one of those. Obviously, before we move on to the latter stage of the season where all of a sudden somebody had shoved a rocket up your arse and you just went for it. Obviously, we'll take a few comments before we get on that. Charlie has said, "Hi, mate. Hope you're all right." Yeah, all good. Nippon, going back to what you said, Ray, says you have to spend to win these days. You can't focus solely on the youth. Joey says, try telling our board you got to spend some money. I mean, that's a good point. As the missus said, hopefully they do under the new owner, which I'm hoping so. A apparently he's signed. It's just about waiting for the announcement. Good number 2 coming in at Burnley there. Rich says hi everyone. So thanks for tuning in, Rich. It says it's a great panel. I mean, it is. It's beautiful, isn't it? Something to admire, honestly. People talking about budgets. We have Nippon saying wasn't Danny Ings a claret at some point? Yes, he was. Talks in the house. Big up to Talk. Hope you're well. And Nippon says 0-0. Didn't you guys batter them 4-2? I don't know what game you're on about, Nippon.
That was later in the season. The start of the bad run for Liverpool was that 0-0 against United. Later on in the season, they beat United 4-2 at Old Trafford.
Happy days. Connor's obviously here now. How are you, mate?
Better now that I'm home, that's for sure.
How have you been? You all right?
Yeah, just had to go get some fingerprinting done.
Happy days. So the police let you go in the end?
Yeah, all good. All right, I'm out on bail.
Happy days. So, Doug, obviously, towards the back end of the season, you just nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. You were, I think Everton were 9th, you were 8th. It looked like it was going to finish. With both teams were flirting around that top 10 area at the bottom. And then just out of the blue, you just hit this run of form, and just explain it for us if you can.
I mean, it was completely mental anyway. Like obviously those 2 draws against Leeds United and Newcastle were games where, the Leeds United game, like that was as a friendly. I think people would have said that was as a friendly, but the Newcastle United game, we should have won that pretty comfortably. But Newcastle did play well, and then it was just Alisson Becker against West Brom. That's what I think changed the whole season. Because if he hadn't scored that, then I don't think we get top 4. Obviously, the Manchester United game was, rescheduled because of obviously all the violence, which is absolutely unacceptable. But I can understand through Manchester United fans and the Glazers out movement, which the Glazers have been there far too long. 16 years too long, as far as I'm concerned. So, and then obviously
Ray tell you different.
And then that gets rescheduled, and we go back to Old Trafford and won 4-2, which was a very good result, especially having to come back from a goal down as well for a Nat Phillips own goal from, well, it should have been Bruno Fernandes, but it's definitely Nat Phillips own goal. A lot of Man United fans tell me otherwise, but
no, it wasn't Nat Phillips goal. It was an own goal. I think I have no reason to. We fucking lost. It was an own goal. Whatever.
And then obviously we go 2-1 up, and then it goes 3-1. They get one back through Marcus Rashford, and then Salah's probably got the whole of Henderson's left hand side. The way he kept how open that was as well, and the wins just kept going on. There was just a little bit of belief back then. And I think the one result that actually changed it for me was when Arsenal went to Stamford Bridge. Nobody expected Arsenal to go to Stamford Bridge and win. And that allowed us to know that a win on the final day against Crystal Palace and yourselves, Burnley, would get us top 4.
Nobody expected Arsenal to go to Turf Moor and get a win at one point in the season.
And they didn't. And they didn't. They drew 1-1 because Xhaka obviously likes to play in claret and blue.
The only time that Xhaka likes to play well is when he's playing for Switzerland.
No, that's true. That's true.
I'm fine with that. He can play out of his skin when he plays for Switzerland as long as he's not doing well otherwise.
So, Patrick's in. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Loving the show as he works. No, go and get that bread, mate. Go get that bread. We've all got to work at some point. Obviously, I know it was your day off. You've been called in, but fair play. So yeah, obviously moving on from Liverpool, obviously we'll go to you then, Ben. Everton season. I mean, try and sum it up for us. I've got all that, mate. I've got all that.
Right. Yeah. So first 5-6 games, we were cruising. We were flirting at the top of the table. We were picking up really good results. Calvert-Lewin was firing on all cylinders. It was looking great. I wasn't thinking title. I was thinking like top 4, top 6. I thought this could be our year. We could get into Europe. But then we dropped silly points against Southampton, Newcastle, Wolves, Leeds, teams that we should be beaten by miles. And it still went downhill. Calvert-Lewin wasn't scoring. He didn't score for 10 games. It was a bit concerning. We had no one else to put it in the back of the net. We had James Rodriguez, who came in over the summer. He was a very exciting signing for us. He's probably been our biggest signing in a long time, probably since Lukaku, maybe. But he kept getting injured, which was really frustrating. We just lacked depth in midfield. We had like Decore and Elan come in, who were 2 very exciting signings, but they didn't really do it for us. But then come the new year, we started to pick up a little bit. We were beating teams above us. We were beating Leicester. We beat Liverpool at Anfield for the first time in so long, since '99, which was a really good feeling, which was probably the biggest highlight of our season, if anything. And the Newcastle did the double over us, which was, again, really frustrating. We beat Arsenal, which was good because we don't usually beat them. We couldn't get past United or Man City. We were hoping for a cup run in it. We're trying to get to the final FA Cup, and Man City put an end to that. They put on a good show, as usual. But overall, it's been a very, very mediocre season, which is what you expect. Just 1 minute. Sorry. Somebody's signaling me from the other room. But yeah, it's been very poor. Rodriguez, we were hoping he could come in and be the creator, but he didn't really do it for us. It was really frustrating. Some exciting players. Ben Godfrey, he did really well for us. When he came in, I was a bit sceptical because he came from Norwich, but he proved me wrong. Jordan Pickford, he had a bit of a shaky start, and obviously he had all that those death threats from Liverpool fans when he injured Virgil van Dijk. He had to get security in.
Van Dijk
flopped. Not from me. I can tell you that.
He flopped. It was a flop. We all know it.
Oh yeah. But since then, his performance kind of dropped a little bit, and that's why we brought in Robin Olsen, who did a decent job. But Pickford towards the back end of the season, he did really well, and I'm sure you guys would agree. He put in an excellent performance in the Euros. He was outstanding for us. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's a bit good start, and then the usual downward slope.
Yeah, it's strange because obviously, last towards the back end of the season before last, obviously Calvert-Lewin started finding the net. He started the season in that same form. He started putting the ball in the back of net. Everyone thought, hold on a minute, our next England striker's coming through the system here. And then it sort of, as you said, 5 or 6 games later, it just dried up. And everyone's like, whoa, what?
Ben, can I ask you a question? Now, obviously, you'll know from last season that Liverpool and Everton's home form, well, let's put it this way, there wasn't any home form at all. Do you think that both teams' home form will improve with fans back in the stadium?
I think, yeah. Like most teams, they thrive under their own stadium, don't they? I think we definitely struggle because Everton, like, it's quite a tight knit stadium. It's like really packed. It's really like it's the place to go. It's really it's always buzzing. But without the fans there, we just didn't perform. We didn't turn up. It was fans on Twitter are like, we're getting really frustrated.
It was a very weird results. Like, you were losing to Fulham, you were losing to Sheffield United. Fulham. You just never envisaged you losing to those kind of teams.
No, if we'd beaten those teams, we could have easily got top 6 without a doubt. But because we were losing to the teams flirting with relegation and below us, we just weren't getting anywhere.
No, it's. I'm not steaming. I am not. I'm not. It's only my first bottle. It's only my first bottle. I did go proper though. I did get lambs. So.
Oh man, you don't know. I'm sorry. I had to throw in the England comment. Scotland got shot on for so long. I had to throw it, and I knew Doug wouldn't care if I threw in the England comment. So I had at least one person that backed me up, but I can say that Van Dijk flopped because no Liverpool fans can reach me over here in the U.S. because Liverpool has no fans over on the West Coast. They may be number one in Liverpool, but they're about number 5 in the U.S. I've seen more Arsenal kits in 2 days than I've seen Liverpool kits in 3 years.
Oh my god!
Which shows the intelligence of most American people, but we're not going to get into that.
Joey, who's obviously a Burnley fan, thanks for tuning in. Obviously, he's riddled with COVID at the minute. He was going to come on, but he's feeling really down in the dumps. So get well soon, Joey. And
yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming on. Although he has said that Everton's away end is a dump.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that.
Hey, man, at least your whole stadium is in the dump like Old Trafford.
Yeah, your leaky roof. Don't even get started on that.
Yeah.
We won't get fully into how bad our stadium is currently.
But yeah, Richard said Everton always seems to have games in hand, and I kept thinking they move up the league a bit. Like you said, you got worse over the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we had games in hand. I think we had Fulham, Villa. I think I can't remember who the other one was, but yeah, we had so many opportunities to leapfrog like West Ham, Liverpool, but we just didn't take it, and it was really disappointing.
Projected the result.
Yeah.
So would you say that a top 10 finish under Carlo Ancelotti was a good season or about average?
Very average. We expected a lot more from Carlo, but I think he's only playing with the cards he's dealt. I mean, he's only brought in three or four of his own players, so we expected him to spend big in the summer. But obviously, Real Madrid came in and sniped him away from us, which I was a bit annoyed about it because he was saying nice, good things about Everton, how it was like a family club, how he wanted to be there when the stadium opened, and then he just up to the left. But you can't blame him when it's Real Madrid. I mean, but yeah, he should have done a lot better. There was a lot of pointing fingers. There was the players, there was the board, there was the manager. To be honest, everyone had a part to play in it.
I think the only coach that you can go, what were you thinking about taking a job as Nuno going to frickin' Spurs?
Yeah, he was my first choice, and I didn't want. Yeah, it was. I thought when Carlo left, I was like, right, we've got to go for Nuno, play it safe. Or I even thought Eddie Howe because he'd have been a safe choice, but Rafa was an interesting one, definitely.
Yeah, so obviously Rafa came in. Another one that, like Pickford, is probably receiving death threats right about now. You know, obviously, you yourself, how do you feel about that appointment?
I wasn't too bothered about it. I knew there was going to be a lot of criticism from the Everton fans. I mean, I don't really want to look at the Everton tweets right now because all it is death threats towards Rafa, saying he's a cop-out scum and whatever. But that's all in the past. I mean, if he can sort our defence out, get us winning games that we should be winning, get us on a good cup run again, get us into Europe, then I'm all for it.
Definitely. But do you think Mashiri's obviously, you know, he's obviously got the noir to bring in a quality manager, and you know he wants big things of Everton. But do you think that it's sort of he's trying to run before he can walk? Absolutely,
yeah. So we need. I'm glad he came in because we needed it. We needed to go that extra step. We were starting to attract bigger players, so like Lukaku, Rodriguez, Salan. But yeah, I think he's throwing a lot of money at it, and it's just not working. I think we need to just look at where our weaknesses are and go from there. He's just chucking money left, right, and centre.
We could, no matter what the position, kind of, and just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, not but really the thing is as well, you've also got players that are aging now as well. I mean, Seamus Coleman's obviously coming on a bit now.
Leighton Baines is getting up there in age as well.
Leighton Baines went
left now.
He's left.
He's a development coach now.
Yeah, but I think obviously you did really well in replacing Baines with obviously Luca Dean or Luca Digne. He's an absolute class. That free kick he scored against us on Boxing Day. I mean,
Yeah,
That's the only one. That's the only one I actually thought, yeah, fair play. But my stepdad's an Everton fan, and I got him tickets. So to be sat on Boxing Day with my stepdad celebrating like mad amongst all Burnley fans when you're beating us like 5-1 or whatever it were, was just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Rich has said, a question to the panel, same top 4 next season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't see anybody breaking in. Leicester, I think Leicester's going to continue to be top 4 until the very last, week.
Yeah, they just get unlucky, don't they? Just fall away.
Ray's not asked as long as he's number 1.
37 out of 38 weeks they were in the top 4, and then they lost to Chelsea and then Spurs.
No, it's mad, isn't it?
I think it's going to be very similar to what it was. I think Liverpool, with the healthiness that they have now, hopefully with getting everybody back, Chelsea really needs to continue to have their form, or else I think they may get overtaken by Liverpool. And of course, United, we have to be, a little bit smart. Hopefully, what's been coming out in the last day is true, which is Sancho's been wrapped up, Varane is wrapped up now, Trippier's now been wrapped up for 20 million, and so we can basically spend the rest of the summer now looking for a defensive midfielder to have us go to our 4-3-3. But we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Obviously, Patrick's asked a comment there to you, Ray. Do you want Mendy to stay?
What do you think? What do you think? The guy has played. I can't remember how many games he's played. Has he been with us for 4 seasons? 5 seasons. He's played 73 times for City in 5 seasons. Something crazy like that. But he's won tons of trophies. He's a cheerleader at City now. That's it. He's best off shipped out. Get somebody else in. Get a proper left back. It's a shame that it's been a problem for us for many, many years. We've had people like Kolarov and Clichy who haven't been top draw. We've had obviously now we've had Mendy and Zinchenko and Delph there. We need a proper left back, and I think that'll make it'll make a massive difference. But look. Can you imagine what City would be like if we had either Luke Shaw or Robertson?
Hands off.
Someone of that
Luke
quality.
Shaw surprised me.
Somebody of
Fernandinho on the left.
Make a massive
doing a shift.
No, that's true. That's true. Retro, obviously, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. Rich says, "Where's Chris?" I haven't a clue. I know he's done his own show this evening, so whether he's gone for a lie down now because he's in his 60s probably, but we'll see. 60 million will get you Charlie Taylor, apparently. Trust me, Joey, in today's market, 60 million won't get you a bag of peanuts from behind the bar, so it's getting silly these days. So, obviously, moving on to Man United, 2nd place finish. Under Ole, a man that's, not had a good record with Cardiff, had a decent record with, is it Molde, however you want to call them. A 2nd place finish, you can't really argue with that, can you?
I mean, and there's some big, misquotes and stuff like that from his time at Cardiff. People like to basically say it's all on him for being shite, but former players multiple of them have spoken out and said, no, he was amazing. The team was just destined to not do well. Like, it was nothing. There was nothing apparently that he former players basically said there was nothing he could have done. It was just destined in the cards for them to just be really bad. But so I don't blame him there. But yeah, Molde was amazing. Actually, people don't seem to realize that Molde was not the top team in Norway until Ole came through and started playing well. But 2nd place, I like to look realistically at what we were predicting at the start of the year, which was just hoping kind of for top 4 again. I think a lot of United fans at the beginning of the year were going, if we get 3rd place again or 4th place, I don't think we're going to be too unhappy because of all the moves that were made by other teams over the course of the last summer, with us basically waiting for the last week to do any real deals and having a bunch of deals for us fall through. But no, I'm happy with 2nd. There of course, the cup runs weren't great. The Europa League final losses probably going to sting as much as the England final loss to Italy will sting for you guys in England. But overall, I'm not too unhappy with second, and I'm super happy with how our summer's going so far. So, I can't completely complain except for, of course, the owners.
No, it's about time Sancho really signed for United. It's been going on for years, and
We still haven't got the announcement.
Thank God for that.
They've yet to announce him.
Yeah, do you reckon they'll announce him with Varane?
They're planning to announce Varane, Trippier, and Sancho all at the same time, is what I'm hearing now.
Wow.
Is they're doing a triple announcement at the same time with all three of them.
Man United with another money-saving scheme.
Hey, are you kidding me? Paying $20 million for Trippier, $17 million up front for Sancho, and then, $40-50 million for Varane. I'm not going to be, you told me that this was going to be our summer going into, the middle of July. I would have been calling you crazy and saying that you definitely need to go to an asylum.
So what did you think of last season then? Obviously, we've heard about, the defensive midfield situation, the McFred not working. Obviously, Harry Maguire gets a lot of shit. Talk to me about your season. How do you think it went?
I mean, I don't have to say more than we were shit to start the year. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to go against me when I say that we were absolutely dreadful to start off the year. And of course, I know City will agree with me as well. Not having a preseason definitely didn't help our years to start off the season, having to go so far into Europe to the point that we didn't really get a preseason hurt both City and United. But it was nice to see us, going into, you all gave me so much credit. You all went at Scotland so much. I have to give any opportunity I can to go against England. But Doug will agree with me, of course. With how much crap that Scotland got, I have to give England as much crap as I can at any point. They were a bit like Leicester, had it in the first half and then just didn't. But it was great. For me, with what I thought was going to happen this year, with hoping just kind of to get top four with how everybody else was going, the start wasn't great. The middle was, it was all right. I was happy with the middle stage, especially, going into first place was huge. Of course, I didn't think we were going to finish first, but of course, publicly, I'm going to go 21-21. I'm completely behind the hope that we were going to win it, while being realistic and knowing at some point we probably were going to lose it, which we did. Fair enough to City for absolutely, having a blinder of a second half. I mean, just absolutely. I'm just happy that we are the only team to really beat them and end their streak, because they were just on an absolutely blinding run everywhere. I'm happy. FA Cup was all right. Beating Liverpool in the FA Cup was probably the highlight of the cup for us. Carabao
Basically,
Cup.
what he's just gone and done, Doug, is by saying, "Oh yeah, Scotland this, Scotland that," and then just gone Liverpool knife.
I can't let anybody get too comfortable. I've got to make sure nobody's too comfortable. But the Carabao Cup, the semifinal again hurts. Being the team, of course, being constantly in the semifinal and just never getting there, it hurts. But knowing that we still are, until we do make these signings, we are still pieces away from being a team that can contend truly for everything. The only thing that really hurt me was just, losing that final on penalties in the Europa League, against a team I really think we should have beat, having some players really step up and play really well. To have us go down and, the late penalties definitely hurt. But overall, I'm optimistic, but definitely still disappointed with how the year went.
No, I bet. So obviously, what I did is I sent my identical twin brother out to a few of the stadiums, and basically 3 games before the end of the season, I sent him out, and this was the predictions we got. As I said, Doug, be warned.
So we headed around to the Northwest teams in the Premier League. We obviously hit the road and we thought, let's get to these stadiums and see how their seasons have gone. So first stop, we ended up driving towards the Etihad Stadium, and where better to start? Home of the champions.
Typical northern weather, what do you expect? It's raining,
We are at Manchester City Stadium, home of this season's champions. Pep's men have had an outstanding season, an over 20-plus game run. They've just been absolutely phenomenal, unbeatable and unplayable at times. So well done on winning the league. We're here at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United. A second place finish for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men. Outstanding achievement. And they can only push on from here, really, can't they? I mean, let's see what Ole's got in his bag next season. But on to the next one. And we're here at Anfield. Last season's Premier League champions. Only got Europa this season. Very tough time for Jurgen Klopp's men. Hopefully they can do something again next season. A quick 16-minute walk across Stanley Park takes you out to Goodison. The Gladys Street end, world renowned. Not going to be here that long, is Goodison Park. Obviously they're moving down to Bramley Moor Docks. But for Everton, it's been a decent season. They've kept a close running with Liverpool. And obviously a top 10 finish. What more could you ask for under Carlo Ancelotti? Peace. What have you brought me here for?
Why?
Well, they're not even in the Premier League.
They won the league in 95.
No, they bought the league in 95. I can't believe you've done this. Get me to fucking Turf Moor now. Here we are, Turf Moor, home of Burnley Football Club. Our team, my team. Sean Dyche's men have secured another season in the Premier League after such an up and down topsy-turvy season. But we've managed it, we have done it, and you know what, I'm just glad to be back here and out of that shithole at Blackburn, because I don't even know why the missus took me there. Just, you know, I'm sure she's just playing silly beggars. Anyway, back to me in the studio. Right, Dash for a fan.
So there we go.
Everton, decent season.
Oh,
Yeah,
Europa League.
yeah. That's how it looked. That's how it looked 3 games from the end. I thought, honestly, you know, Joey says no horses were harmed in the making of this video.
you gotta say, you're talking about 4 teams that absolutely hate each other. This is it.
Yeah. No, put it one way. Put it one way. We didn't half clock some miles up because I think we went Anfield first, then Goodison, then to City, and then United, then Blackburn, and then back to Burnley. So it was a nice day to run out in the car and do it until when we got to City. As I say, it were raining, and then obviously I had to try and piece it together, and because we'd not done it the correct way. But yeah, that was my identical twin brother.
I haven't seen rain since like April.
What's that?
I haven't seen rain since like April.
Well, wait till you come over to England. Wait till this new job starts and you get over to England, or even go up to Scotland again. You know.
Oh, trust me, I remember my time in Scotland. That's wet fucking land right there.
So Rich says nice, and Hassan, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you and the missus are well and everything. Do you guys think Tarkowski will leave Burnley this summer? And do you think any of you guys are potential suitors for him?
I think we're pretty much covered at centre half, to be honest.
Yeah, I think United's good as well with Varane coming in.
That's
Touch
good. That's
wood,
good
I think
enough.
we're good. I think we're good. Touch wood, I think we're good enough as
You
well.
sure you don't want another partnership?
Make it 23.
No, thank you.
Van Dijk going to stay healthy this time.
Ray, you like to splash millions on defenders, surely.
Yeah, but we want good defenders, mate. Top class. He's not top class, mate.
Oi.
Thing is,
Should I smash this myself and just jab me at neck or what?
I said, but seriously, mate, who'll want him? Who will want him that he'll want to go
Tarkowski
to?
should have been in England if we're
I
honest.
think Leicester won him like not long ago.
Yeah, I
West
think
Ham, I believe,
Leicester,
as well.
West Ham, yeah.
I mean, if we're honest, Tarkowski should have been in England over Mings. Mings is an absolute freaking disaster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the temperament of a 30-year-old drunk racist, and he's got the fucking ball playing ability of a 90-year-old grandma. I mean, I don't know I don't know what he was doing in the England squad.
Hey, you've just mentioned 90-year-old grandmas, and guess who's turned up? Chris is in the house. What defender is goal, Shirley? There you go, Chris. We're talking about 90-year-old defenders. I think you're on the wrong website, mate, for that sort of stuff.
Chris, how did England do, by the way? Gave me so much. Chris is one of the leading people to give me crap about Scotland, so I'll just ask him how England's doing.
He's all right. He's the only person I know that were there in '66.
Dan, I'm gonna have to shoot, mate. Thanks
Right,
for
no problem.
inviting me
Well,
on.
just before you leave, obviously, what's your top 4 prediction for next season?
Oh, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester.
And I'm guessing you've gone from fourth to first there.
All right, I'll take the disrespect. All right.
Not disrespect. It's a compliment.
No, cheers, Ray, for coming on. Obviously, thanks a lot. Obviously, congratulations again to Man City winning the league last season. Good luck again for next season until we play each other, obviously. But I mean, I don't know why I'm saying that because we just roll over and you tickle us anyway.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
Exactly. So, just give one final plug to your channel before you go.
City Fan TV be up and running again properly. You know, we're doing just bits and pieces at the moment because it's dead time. We've signed nobody. It's quiet time, but probably end of the month we'll be cracking again. City Fan TV.
Happy days. So, people, please go ahead, go on over to Ray's channel, show him some love, give it a like and subscribe and follow. Thanks again, Ray, for coming on. It's been a legend as always.
Yes, guys. Look after yourself.
Take it easy.
You too, mate.
Well.
Keep looking up.
I love how he didn't even finish his sentence before we went, so we couldn't say out back.
I can't wait till they finish third this next year.
Obviously, Chris is saying got to the final. Did Scotland?
Yeah, but I mean, we
England
weren't expected
final.
to get past the group stages. You guys were chatting like Italy wasn't a team at some point. You guys chatted about Denmark and England like they're the U7s at Blackburn. How'd penalties go? Went really well, didn't they?
Well, put it one way, our penalties are as awful as you playing in 90 minutes. So,
Yeah, fair enough. But I will say that
I love how he just yeah. Okay.
It's going to be interesting though because so the injury bug has hit a top 4 team every single year. Last year it was United. This year it was Liverpool, and next year it's got to be City this time now. It's got to be City that's going to get hit by the major because we saw what happened. It's happened every year. We had Rashford and Pogba go down for months for us last year. This past season, you guys lose Virgil van Dijk because of an errant, flop and knee. And then you guys lose Joe Gomez and pretty much your entire back line. I think it's high time for City to be hit for, 4 or 5 injuries for months. I think Foden goes down. I think Diaz goes down. Ederson goes down. And we see what they can really do when they can't buy the league.
The only problem is with City is that they've got talent in abundance. So even the second team that they put out is just as strong.
That's what happens when you forget about human rights and you think about money. You can buy the league. And I would have said this if he was here, but it's just happened that he's gone now.
No, that's true. That is true. So obviously, we'll come back to you, Doug. How do you think Liverpool will do next season? Obviously, you've brought in Kanate so far. Who's to say there's more not, coming through the door? How do you think it'll go?
Well, I would like to be at least challenging City for the league this season. I'd actually like a wee good cup run as well. I know Klopp and Dyche don't do cups as you said a couple of days ago. But yeah, I'd like a wee run in the League Cup. I'd like a wee run in the FA Cup, Champions League. I would like to see us get maybe quarters again. That'd be good. And anything above that is a bonus. But yeah, expectations probably challenge City and hopefully go well in the cups.
Not bad. So, what would your predicted top 4 be then?
This is difficult because obviously you can't really tell who's strengthened so far. I think the only team really is Leicester at the moment, and obviously United. I'll go City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea.
Sounds fair.
Where's Everton in this?
I think they'll have a better season. I know you haven't even asked me about Rafa yet, but in all honesty, right, Rafa Benitez was at Liverpool 2004 to 2010. So it's been 11 years since he was at Liverpool. He went in at Chelsea, didn't give a monkey's how he was going to be faced with the fans at all. and he's won them a trophy as well. So I think it's a job that he's at home. He's in the Wirral. He's been there 16 years in the Wirral. It's probably his last job. I've nothing against it. I've nothing against it for him to go to Everton. Obviously, I don't wish him well to do in the derbies, but Raf, people say tainted legacy and all this bull crap. No, not a chance. Not a chance. So, yeah, I think Rafa had every right to take the Everton job, and I'm quite glad he did. And I think he'll prove a lot of people wrong at Everton.
And then finally, where's Burnley going? Because we have Burnley, of course, here.
You are?
I was going to say, if we're going to do a top four, shouldn't we also do Everton and Burnley's finishing spots as well? Because we do have you guys here.
Hey, sometimes it's nice for us to just slip under the radar. So when you say your top four, and then we just sort of sneak in through the back door, and we sort of just sat there like that. Then
barely scraping for top four,
scraping into the top, scraping just above the relegation zone.
They're trying to scrape to get out of the top four of teenage pregnancies in Burnley, let alone flaming top four of the Premier League. Christ.
It's the same down here in West Midlands as well. So,
Talk says, great show, Dan. Thank you very much, Talk. Obviously, it's the panel that makes it, in my opinion. Hey, Talk, how the devil are you? Right, that's Leicester and Talk, obviously having a chinwag. Max has said, Ben, class show and panel, do you still want that free ticket?
Yeah, go for it. Drop me a message after. My socials are in my YouTube channel, so just drop me a message.
No problem. As I say, Mark, the YouTube
Really
channel is in the description, and I'll also forward, if you haven't found it already, I will forward Ben's Twitter handle over as well.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Thanks, man.
Not a problem at all. Obviously, Talk says I'm fucking roasting it. It's been a not one today, ain't it, boys? To be fair.
Oh, how hot is it where you guys are?
25,
27 down here.
Yeah.
Worked in a nice cool office all day and I stepped outside.
Let me get my Celsius. Let me get my Fahrenheit to Celsius.
I won't even say I was in an office. I was literally in the bedroom because I'm working from home.
Yeah.
So when all you can see is the sun outside, and you just sat there thinking, "Oh, why am I sat in here?"
I could live for a beer outside.
Yeah.
You guys are talking 25 and 27. I'm talking right now, today, right as it stands today, it's currently 32.
Currently,
Wow.
And the rest of the week it's 36.
Apparently, we're supposed to hit 30 something on Sunday.
Oh, you're talking like that's bad. It's been 43 for about a solid 2.5 weeks. That's what happens when you live in California.
Just seen that comment.
Absolutely roasting over here. Yeah, we've been 35 plus pretty much since June hit.
Christ, that's madness. Is that?
It's great for the pool.
Oh yeah, I bet it's great for the pool, but for a copper top like me, that's it. Sun's out, ginger's in. It's not. I'm not going out.
It was so bad. My vacation was to a place where it's 15 because I just wanted the drop of 40 degrees in temperature.
Where'd you got a fridge?
Yeah, we got. Yeah, it only does so much. Yeah, I have 2 fridges. I have the fridge in my house, and then I have the fridge in my team.
So Mark says that Everton will finish 6th. Would you say you'd be very happy with that, wouldn't you?
We'll take 6th place any day. I mean,
that's a tough finish for Everton, yeah.
Where do you see your guys finishing next season?
So, well, we haven't been in Europe since Ronald Koeman, so that's been a while. So I think 6th is probably our aim at the very least. I think 6th is definitely a fair prediction.
So who would you go for your top 4 then?
Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea.
All right.
Solid.
So I've been out the top 4, 3rd place, and so you know what? I'll tell you. All right.
It's going to be close. It's going to be
sneaking
close.
up.
I'm sneaking up the table over here.
Mark says, "Cheers, Dan. You're welcome. And 26 here, being in the sun all day. I'm like a lobster."
Oof.
Doug says, "Fact that would do me in." Chris has gone Chelsea.
It's
Chelsea
been like
to
this for decades now. This is average for us now, is getting up into the 40s pretty much every year.
Fair play.
I wish I could say wish I could say this is a hot spike, but this goes 35 to 45 goes from about start of June to about mid-August.
Christ, that's proper like in between, isn't it? It's hot. Yeah, it might be too hot.
Well hot.
It's well hot.
Well hot. Might be too hot.
I think we get down into like the 20s. We get down to the 20s in like September, October.
Sod that.
Yeah, yeah. Trust me, I know it's an interesting experience. Being from America, and everybody talks about oh my gosh, it's so cold here, and then I'm like, well, it's actually rather nice up here, and then it's like it's proper hot here, and I'm like, it's fucking what? Come to my side of the pond and you'll see what hot really is.
I love how Chris has managed to sneak a bit of a double whammy in there at fourth. He's toying with the idea of Liverpool and Leicester in fourth.
I'm going to say now, if Chelsea don't buy a striker, they ain't winning the league.
Yeah, they're not winning.
I agree.
If they get Haaland, then maybe.
But Haaland's not going anywhere till next year, and it's been confirmed. And
yeah,
Dortmund's not going to budge on it.
And Chris says Everton haven't been in Europe since there was a war.
Wow.
2005? 2005, 2006?
2005 was when last, at least attempted Champions League. Yeah, but we lost to Villarreal qualifiers.
I think
that's right.
Everton just need to stay healthy.
Yeah.
They need the problem with DCL, I know it was mentioned earlier, is he's a purple patch player. He's a lot like Severovic is for Switzerland. Yeah. He's really a purple patch player. You get him for about 4 or 5 games, and then he goes disappearing for almost a dozen.
Yeah, we just need the striker who can be consistent, but they don't want to come.
I'll see this again. Bruno Petkovic.
I knew you'd rave about Petkovic.
People think I'm his agent at this point, but I swear he's a top player.
I'll tell you one thing I will say. I think you're all going to expect it. So Nippon said Leicester, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, and in typical Nippon fashion, in no particular order.
So we know where his football knowledge is at right now.
I can't see Leicester getting
the blue hair is seeped into his brain and is kind of just.
Has he actually got it blue now?
He's gone and done it.
I actually think Leicester's Europa League campaign could derail them.
Leicester, though, yeah. Then I think Leicester being in two different, when you're in 4 different, competitions, it's really difficult. Especially when we're looking at Europe.
I like how nobody actually predicted Tottenham or Arsenal to be top 4 because
they're not even top 6. Everton will finish above both of them next year. That's not even a slight against Everton. I just think they're going to do well. And I think Everton is. I think Tottenham's shite until they figure out.
Tottenham's just a mess from top.
And Arsenal's going to be bottom half at this point.
Yeah,
can't even beat Hibs.
Let's throw them against Ross County next and see if they can beat them. And then if they lose that, then we'll have them play Kilmarnock.
I actually think Livingston could beat Arsenal. Do you know that?
Do we have them play a doubleheader against Kilmarnock and Ayr?
So we drew with Bury a few years ago, so we got no leg to stand on really.
But Connor, did you see that?
That were the days under like Beckford, though, weren't it?
Yeah, back the old Jermaine Beckford days.
Connor. Apparently, the designers of Kilmarnock's training kit got themselves mixed up with it.
No, I don't want to hear it. I've seen the retweet. Don't need to mention it on live. I'm good.
Whoever done that needs to be sacked.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'd rather have my training kit be their kit than their kit be their training kit be ours. So we got the better end of the deal because at least our training kit is their away kit. It's better than their training kit being our away kit.
Mike, I think Arsenal could be further down in the 8th.
I think they're going to be battling. Yeah. I think they're going to be battling with Burnley for 14th.
I would agree with that.
They're spending the same amount on Ben White as we're about to buy Varane for. So that really shows how Arsenal's moving mad in the summer window.
Yeah, £50 million for Ben White. Look, Ben White's a good defender. I'm not going to say anything. Ben White is a very, very good defender, but not for £50 million.
But if Harry Maguire's $80 million, then surely enough, Ben White's only like 30.
Ben White was a good defender when he was on loan at Leeds. He's not been anything to rave about since he's been at Brighton. No. It's talked about by media hype Same to
I
Graham
think-
Potter. Graham Potter at Spurs because he
Oh,
plays
don't get
sexy
me
football.
started on
Honest
I
to
think-
God.
Graham Potter.
I think Brighton might go
Jesus
down this
Christ.
season. Do you know
Brighton goes down.
Yeah.
I think it's Brighton. I think it's Brighton. I think Brentford's going to be the surprise going down, and then it's going to be Norwich going right back down. I think Watford's got the cojones to stay up this year.
Yeah, just about.
I like.
Yeah.
I've watched Watford and I've seen their team. Watford's got a decent side, and they've got Premier League experience in that side.
They have
to
9
really
strikers.
help. Who? Watford.
Watford have got nine strikers.
Well, yeah, they need all the goals they can get.
So if that one doesn't work, just pick the next one. Then.
I mean, for me, looking, I'll big up a little bit of Watford. I mean, 3 of their players I'd take right now for a top
Sarr?
4. Sarr, João
Yeah.
Pedro is 2, and honestly, they have some decent players in that side. I'm not going to. I won't discount that side.
That's probably the factual statement of the season. Watford will have had 3 managers by the end of the season.
As long as they don't try and take any more of our players on loan and then waste them for half a year, I don't care.
No, I mean, I've had this discussion with Mark already before. Obviously, he thinks Ivan Toney will bag a ton. I'm saying
I
they'll
don't
finish
know.
11th.
I don't even know
I
if
don't
Tony's
think-
going to be at Brentford
We'll
at the end of the summer.
We'll see.
I don't
No,
think Brentford will finish 11th, but what I will say is if Tony can fire the goals, I think Brentford could be the surprise package, and I think they'll stay up.
The thing
I
is,
think
though,
they will.
if Tony is doing well and he hits the ground running at the beginning of the season, it's continuing up until January. He goes to a big club for money,
Then
a
they're
decent,
fucked.
fair amount of money, and then Brentford are, like you said, they are fucked.
You know, Dan, I've mentioned a player with you that I like, at least for Burnley, which is Frank Onyeka. We've had discussions. I've done massive research onto a couple
Yeah,
of
he
players.
was linked with Brentford, weren't he, or going there?
Because he's with the sister club at FC Midland over in Denmark. He's with the sister club, so it's a big chance that he's going to move for free over. And that's a huge signing. I think that keeps one of the teams.
Christopher Ayers going to Brentford from Celtic for 13.5 million, I think.
You know what? I'd have loved to have had Christopher Ayer. I think he's quality. I think
He's
he's
a
a really
brilliant
good defender. And
Hey,
he's still
he
got
can-
youth in it.
can
He's still
play-
got youth on
can
his
play
side as
all-
well.
Can play all around the back 4, and then he can play central defensive midfielder as well. Fantastic player.
If you
Um,
want-
Celtic
A
are-
question to you then, Doug. What if you was to have the choice now between Nat Phillips or Christopher Ayer? Who would it be? Taking the sentiment away from it.
Wow,
That's a really tough choice.
that is a really, really tough choice. But
Oh,
just because
Nimble-
obviously he's not had any Premier League experience, it'd have to be Nat Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair choice.
I'm a big fan of Kevin Nisbet, of course. I know.
Michael Goodlobster.
I know Doug's a fan of Nisbet as well. We've talked
Yeah,
about
Nisbet's a
before.
great player.
Put it one way, if Burnley are signing anyone with the amount of players they sign that are overage, Burnley's got more chance of signing Rabsy Nesbitt than Kevin Nesbitt.
He's actually, James isn't bad. James has not been bad for United. He gets a lot of shit because I think they overhyped him coming in, but he came from Swansea. It's not like he came from some big club. He came from the
Yeah, it's like-
Championship.
In time.
But it's going to be Leicester. No, Leicester. It's going to be Leicester or Brighton or Leeds are the 3 teams right now that are in for James. And I'm
Yeah,
only.
because he was close to going to Leeds, weren't he, prior to going to United? I think he was already ready
Yeah.
with the shirt. They were ready to announce it, and then literally call came out of the blue, and he's buggered off there.
Yeah, but no, James is. I think for Leicester, that's a great job for them, and I just like that he won't be able to play against us because I feel like he's a lot better than people like to say he is, and I think a loan's the perfect thing for him. I will say to the Everton fan, because I didn't catch your name, and that's my bad. Ben, if you're looking for a striker to get that'll bang in goals, another player people think I'm his agent at this point, but Daryl DK, who's a United States player, 9 goals for Barnsley last year. He's the reason that
yes,
he's the reason
I
that
heard
they
it.
challenged. He went back to Orlando, right? Finished his loan. Orlando MLS is in their season right now. Went back to Orlando, 3 goals in 2 games, and then now in his first 3 games for the U.S., he's got 6 goals
Yeah.
in 3 games for the U.S. He's basically a Adebayo Akinfenwa light.
Oh,
6'1".
Akinfenwa.
6'1".
What a guy.
What a guy. What
Purely
a guy.
on the fact that he is 6'1".
Sex god,
Look, if you look
absolute
him up-
sex god.
if
Ben,
you look up,
are you happy about Begovic?
No. No. If we need, I mean, yeah. He's a decent keeper, but he's getting on a bit now. We really need someone to be pushing Pickford's number one spot.
I'll tell you who I was amazed he
Pickford
didn't
can
go
easily
for.
drop form like
Sergio
that.
Romero.
Yeah, we were supposed to go for him. We were going to get him on a loan, but Man United were adamant that no, we want to sell him, but we weren't prepared to buy him. We want him on loan, and then if he did well, then obviously we take him on.
This is how big Daryl DK is, 6'1" and just
Oh
built
my God.
like a truck. 20 years old. 6'1",
Wow.
20 years old. Right now, Orlando's giving up for less than 20 million.
Which means in 3 years' time, he's going to look like your average dinner lady. He's going to look like this, no neck. And just be like...
And the thing is, no, but it's basically come out. Orlando City and a lot of American fans like myself I'm not really happy about this, but Orlando City's value him for less than 20 million at 20 years old, coming off of a 9-goal season for Barnsley. So I honestly I like to chat up. Of course I want to chat up American players because this is going to be American.
Oh,
It's going to end up being the American golden era, but he's a really good player.
Yeah, off you pop, Chris.
Off you pop, Chris.
Quietly as you go there. Jesus.
No,
the worrying thing is he doesn't have any nail clippers, so I'm worried about that.
I don't really need that image in my
He'll
head.
get the cow nippers. He'll get the cow nippers and just clunk along.
He's just got an orbital sander and just like on edge of his toe.
He's got one of those like handheld grinders, and it just kind of just makes sure.
Yeah.
He's got
And all his nails are like this, like a disfigured hand.
Everywhere.
No,
His nails look like the guy from Scary Movie with the strong hand.
I think anybody that gets Daryl DK is going to be actually really happy with who they buy because he's been absolutely class wherever he's went.
I think
whether it's been with Orlando.
I don't know. Brentford got the money, but
And I think for less than 20 million at 20 years old, I think he's a steal. I said it when I was doing the transfer video for Burnley. I'll say it even to top 4 clubs. United Scouts were at his last game. It was confirmed that United Scouts were in the stands last night when they played Martinique, where he scored 3.
so Martial's not going to do it for him. So maybe.
I mean, absolutely not. I've said it before.
I don't rate Martial at all.
I don't rate Martial one bit.
Greenwood's still a kid.
Chris said Connor doesn't know how close he is.
He's got do you have handheld like smaller nippers? Or are they like the light version of like the big cow nippers? Or
He's got like proper hedge trimmers. He's probably like he's proper like trimming his bush and then working his way down.
He gets the nail and pickaxe, and he gets a nice big stone. He just nails straight through it, and that's how he chips them off a bit at a time.
So obviously, you'd be happy with 6th then, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely.
Massively.
Any reason to get any way to get into Europe, I'm all for it.
No, I think you deserve it as well. I've always had a soft spot for Everton. My stepdad's a massive Everton fan, as I said.
Sure.
So I have. Obviously, it's just one of those. Connor, I mean, how do you see United going next season?
It all depends on how the end of the summer transfer window goes for us, to be honest. I know a lot of teams can pretty much go with their squad they have now and pretty much know where they're going to end up. Like Liverpool really doesn't need to do much more than just keep people healthy. City doesn't really need to do much except maybe grab it. And you guys were talking earlier when I was driving home about needing to replace Aguero. You guys they need to replace Jesus as well because he's not great either. They really need a striker that can produce for 2 strikers because both their strikers have been absolutely awful. But if we do get who we need, if we do secure Varane, and it is true that Varane and Trippier are both coming to United, if we do secure a defensive midfielder, of course, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. I think Dennis Zakaria from Mönchengladbach would be great, but I wouldn't also be upset with Leiner from RB Leipzig, and I wouldn't be too upset with Rice from West Ham as much as he's not going anywhere. Basuma, or even if the Camavinga ends up happening, it's great. If we get who we need, who we need for our positions, it's first place.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the title.
Ducky, hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. Been friends since we were kids, so it's nice for him to come in and show that support. So thank you very much. He says Man United will win the league this season. I can just see it coming. Apparently, they have also made an official bid for Camavinga, and they are also in for Harry Kane, which could include Jesse Lingard going the other way.
I will agree with Reese's statement here. Not a lot of non-United fans will know that we actually signed another coach, but he is a set piece specialist.
All right.
And he's actually the youngest coach ever to get his A levels, his pro levels, I think, his pro levels coaching badges at 27.
Wow.
He got his
Fair
pro
play.
badges, and he's been with the top. We got him from the top university in England, pretty much when it comes to football, and then signed him off with just set pieces. But I've got to head off. I've got to go do chores.
Oh,
dear.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. Hope to see you guys
honestly,
again.
not a problem. What we did as well, Connor, obviously before you came in, I shouted your channel out,
Yeah, cheers.
told people to go visit it. Obviously, the link's in the description, but now you're here, go and give it a shout again.
Yeah, Yank Talking Smack is my thing for literally everything. My YouTube, my Twitter, my Twitch. I just hit 400 followers on Twitter, which was absolutely insane. The last time I was on here, I hit 50 subscribers on YouTube, which has not been very active because I've had, like Dan mentioned, I've got the new job and I've been working on a bunch of different stuff. So with the settling down, hopefully some more content will be produced. But yeah, go check me out. Hopefully YouTube's going to be going up soon. Gonna hopefully get streaming on Twitch, and then of course I'm super active on Twitter, as Dan and Doug both know. I'm not shy about being active and speaking on Twitter. So go give me a follow, and of course I do follow back anybody I can if I do see you. But no, chores is like I gotta go do the dishes and the laundry, man. It's gonna be fun times.
Oh.
Fun times over here.
On a Friday
Nice
night.
sympathies.
On a Friday
It doesn't
night.
matter what night it is. Chores. Cheers, everybody.
Hey, not a
Cheers,
problem.
Connor.
Cheers for
Good to
tuning
see
in,
you, man.
Connor.
Look after yourself.
Look
You as
after
well.
yourself. Cheers for coming in. Thanks
Yep.
very much. Speak to you soon.
Cheers.
And then there were three. I'm outnumbered by two Scouse fans. This is interesting. But no, obviously, since everyone's dropping like flies, I said it'll probably be about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'm eating into drinking time. So, so yeah, obviously, no, I agree with Reese. Connor is firmly whipped. That's why he's got all that hair at the front, because it covers the thumb mark. You see. So, Nippon, I thought somebody had asked this. Will I be doing a southern edition of this? If it means I have to travel around all the southern stadiums, I do not think the missus would enjoy driving through all of them. She's the one. She's the taxi driver. She's the chauffeur. So obviously, I'd have to run that past her. So at the moment, yeah, it's just staying at the northern one. I may just do a southern one. They may not be a fancy little video, but we'll see. It may be in the pipeline. If so, I'll get somebody else for Chelsea. Only joking. Only joking. Numbers going down quicker than a brass knickers at a Scouse wedding. Christ, Chris, you.
Fact.
Yeah. Chris, of all the things we've said about Everton 6 and Liverpool challenging Man City, and then facts come out like that, there's just no need. Reese, could be worse. You could get me close to it and wind you up, Mr. Sheeran. Well, I'll take the Ed Sheeran comments. I'll take them. I'm not going to complain. The missus says I would drive. To be fair, I think she just wants to get out of the house after the year. I think we all do.
Yeah,
So I can't blame her.
Yeah.
I didn't mean you come down south. I mean you just bring on panellists from southern clubs. I mean, who would you come on and support though, Nippon? Really? I mean, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Who would it be? Who would it be? What sort of restaurant would it be in? What train are you on? There's so many questions with Nippon, honestly. He is. Honestly, he's the sort of guy where if you saw a bat signal in the sky, Nippon's on his way. That's how bad it is. Seriously, it gets torrid. But no, obviously, thanks for coming on. Thanks for giving us your top four and everything. It's been a blast. Reece says Nippon would support anyone, including Arsenal. Which is a fair point. So yeah, obviously, good luck to both clubs next season.
Yep.
And obviously, fingers crossed. We've got a fight to stay up. I think that's. Everybody says that though. Everybody
You
says
always,
that.
yeah, you struggle and then you just end up like recovering like nicely.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's just Sean Dyche just stops feeding them worms, telling them they can have a Domino's, and then that's it. They're all back on it. But Chris says, last few comments, Dan and Doug get revising. Obviously, me and Doug are going to be doing a quiz on Chris's channel. So head over there. We've got, Chris, get in touch with Ben. He's going to ask like 10 questions on your club, 5 questions on the Premier League, and then 5 questions on Leicester. And it's whoever gets the most. He's already done a Leicester fan who got 44 points out of 60. Which,
I only know Leicester of recent years, not.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Like,
that's it. To be fair, I think he's taking everyone's age into account. So, and yeah, he's got Reece for United. So yeah, as he said there, we need an Everton fan to do the quiz.
Yeah,
so yeah,
this is me after this. Definitely.
Happy days. Look at this. I'm sorting free tickets. Quiz now.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ.
Getting the word out here.
I know. I'm going to have to get a job at like flaming a municipal hall or something. Klopp Talk TV. Hey, mate. Big up to yourself, lads. Big up to you guys in the comments. Thanks, Klopp Talk. Thank you very much for showing some support. It means a lot. Thank you for coming in. As I've said, please do like and subscribe. Well, before we get through all that business, he's asking what your Twitter is, Ben.
It's the same as my name, so Blue Nose Banksy.
Happy days. Happy days. So, thanks again for coming on. Doug, give one final shout out to your channels and your socials.
My YouTube channel is the Dugout Football channel. As I've said, I'm doing a wee mini series, a chat with, which is basically inviting a Premier League fan on to talk about their seasons, and I've done 4 right at the moment, so going very well with that. And yeah, I'm just a basic football channel. I do obviously the Euros, I do Premier League, Bundesliga, SPFL. Champions League there as well, World Cup qualifiers as well. So I'm just trying to broaden and get bigger with every step of the way. My Twitter is I think it's on the screen there, Enrod_1992. That is my Twitter. You can find me at Instagram at Douglas Stallhorn, and you can also find me on Facebook at Douglas James Horn. But thank you very, very much for having me.
No problem. Thank you very much for coming on. And yourself, Ben, plug all your channels and get your name out there.
Yep. So all my socials, Twitter and Instagram are same name, Blue Nose Banksy. I do a weekly football talk show where I just talk about the biggest, what's been going on in the week. So like big transfer rumours, that sort of thing. So I've got I've been a bit quiet on the YouTube front recently with the Euros going on. It's been quite hard to keep up. But hopefully with the Euros coming to an end and then the Premier League coming up, there'll be a lot of content coming up with transfer rumours, like fixtures and whatnot. Looking forward to it. And I've also got a mini series coming out. I'll be travelling around the football grounds. A big shout out to Mike for trying to source me a free ticket for Newport. That'll probably be my first port of call. But looking forward to that. I'll be like rating the crowd's atmosphere, like the food, the programs and whatnot. Looking forward to it. I've also going to be putting out a blog soon, writing on the latest football stories, so look out for that as well. Thanks for having me on.
Busy guy then. Just to say on Reese's comment about the World of Football podcast, we're back on the 2nd of August. So that's another big football podcast. It's myself, it's Josh, Reese, Nathan, who's a Cardiff. So it's a Liverpool fan, a Chelsea fan, a Man United fan, and a Cardiff fan. It actually works very, very well. YouTube
sounds like the start of a joke.
I know, it does that. But YouTube would be more than welcome to come on. Just obviously just drop us a DM and we'll get something started.
Absolutely.
Anytime. No, thank you guys for giving me a time on a Friday night. I know it's been one of those years, and sometimes Friday nights come around and all you want to do is chill out, have a drink, and just see the night away. But thank you for giving us your time. Yeah. Thank you for giving us your insight into your clubs, your thoughts on the seasons, and good luck to you both for next season. And as I say, please do subscribe and go and follow these guys, because they are putting a lot of time and effort in, and it does take a lot of time and effort. I know myself doing it. sometimes it's almost like kids get out the way. I'm editing,
Yeah.
so
Especially with having a full-time job as well, it's difficult.
Well, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is, and because you're trying to fit in calling guests on and trying to get everybody together, so it can be daunting at times, but we love it, and that's why we do it. Yep. That's why we're here. So thanks a lot, guys, again for coming on. I've been Dan. This man's been Ben. This man's been Doug, as per usual.
Wrong way.
I know that is. Honestly, I'll never get a job as a lollipop man or something like that, though. But no, seriously, please do follow us as well. I know if you're here and you're watching, if you've not subscribed already, please do subscribe, like the channel, show it some love. We are available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. At Turfmoor House is our name under all our socials. We're also on Spotify. This will be up on Spotify by the end of this evening, and we're on iTunes and Google Podcasts as well. Ooh. So we're branching out.
Yeah, busy.
So one final comment. Reese says it's always going to be a show, Doug. Of course, Reese would say that. Again, guys, thanks for coming on. It's
pleasure.
It means a lot. I'll let you get back to your lives, and thank you very much, and good luck for the rest of the season next season.
Yeah, you too, man.
You too.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
I'm on what?